Hi, everybody. It is episode 556 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
And a Walnut.
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive.
For now, at least.
Yeah, we'll see what happens over the course of the next day or two.
I didn't hear it at first, but I can kind of hear a little bit of the nasal knee,
yeah, and it's
more congested.
It's worse than last week. I can tell you. Listening back to my shorts and clips and things like that I post daily that usually come from the day before. I can still hear it, and I can definitely still feel it.
Is it a lot of sinus pressure?
That's loosening up, but yeah, it's mostly sinus pressure. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Sinus infections suck.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently even real doctors there's no true way of knowing if it is a sinus infection, which my doctor looked up my nose and well, yeah, there's a little it's going to be a little maybe TMI or whatever, but yeah, I can see some blood and some bleeding up in your nasal cavity, but it might just be from the dryness and this, that, and whatever. But apparently there's no real tell for a sinus infection. I don't know.
Yeah, there's two different kinds too. You have bacterial and viral. That's why sometimes they give you antibiotics, sometimes they give you steroid. Sometimes they give you both. And they're just well, let's see which one fucking helps you.
Honestly, I'm thinking they should have done both because I don't know if this is bacterial or viral.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I was sick with beforehand.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, do you have the teeth ache on your top back teeth, especially if you shake your head or lean your head down to your legs?
Yep.
Yeah. That's 100% a sinus infection at least.
Yeah, that's if I'm going up and down steps, and if I step too hard and my head shakes, I can feel the teeth ache.
Yeah. No, that's every time I get a sinus infection, that is the tell that it is a sinus infection. Beyond because with allergies and stuff, I'm congested half the year anyway. So I can't base it on that. But as soon as I feel that ache in the teeth, I'm son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I have to go to urgent care.
Yeah, and so for full disclosure for everyone listening, it was not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. After we got done recording, I started feeling a postnasal drip and I started tasting it. And I'm sure over the course of the week and during recording last week, you could hear it in my voice that I had something. What we think happened was whatever I had, which was primarily upper respiratory, settled in my sinuses. And so on Saturday afternoon, around noon, I get up from doing editing and I almost topple over with vertigo. But it settles within a few minutes. And then Saturday night at around 10 o'clock at night, I'm literally just sitting down watching TV and the room starts to spin like a motherfucker. And my head gets heavy. I end up getting sick from it. To the point where I'd call my roommates. I'm I need somebody to take me to the hospital. I think this might be worse than just vertigo. And it could have been you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I get to the hospital, and I will honestly. I've been to Cooper Hospital 4 too many times in the past year and a half, 2 years now. Well, 3 too many times. Because the first time Chase bit me and the third time Chase bit me, I went. And then this time. So 3 too many times. I've been to Cooper Hospital emergency medicine late at night. It's always late at night this shit happens.
It can't happen during the day.
No, of course it wouldn't happen during the day where I could have saved myself fucking $350. Luckily, I have a flexible spending account, and so it's not really saving me any money. But still, could have saved me more money by just going to urgent care. But yeah, the room was spinning. I got sick. Went to Cooper University Health in Camden, and they gave me the first. They checked all my vitals, brought me back, put me up in a bed, which was just in the fucking hallway, and that's it. And it wasn't a room or anything; it's just in a hallway.
I mean that sounds about right.
The first nurse came over and couldn't find a vein to get the IV in.
This also tracks.
So then they put heating pads on my hands to pull the veins up onto my hands. The next nurse comes over, finds a vein immediately that wasn't even on my hands. sets me up with an IV, gives me anti-nausea medicine. Doctor comes over and they give me anti-vertigo medicine that didn't really help. And she tests me for a seizure. Or not a seizure, a stroke. Which, to test, one of the tests they have to do, and when you have vertigo, this is the worst test in the world, is they move your head to the side and then snap it back to the front.
Oh, jeez.
And then they do, like, it's not like a hard snap. Like, it's not like I'm not snap. It's not, but they moved it to the side and then move it real quick back front. And then they do it on both sides to check your eyes and make sure your eyes are, so she's like, you have to keep your eyes open for this. I'm like, I'm going to do my best. You need to get me a sick bag. She's like, okay, all right. And she gets me a sick bag. She does the first test. She's like, I'm like, not good. Let's just do it. Let's just get it done. And she does the second test, and then I get sick again, and it was bad. And she's like, okay, we're going to set you up fluids, and we're just going to watch you. I don't think it's a stroke. It's like, okay. I'm there from 10:30 till 1:30. Just having the IV, like, drain into me or whatever, having that run. And then I'm starting to feel better. And so they're like, all right, well, we're going to walk you around and see how things go, and you just let us know what's going on. And, like, for the most part, I've just been... It felt better sitting up than it did laying back. So I had them set the bed up to where if I just sat back, I could just have my head on the pillow behind me. But eventually, like, we set myself back to lay down, and I started to feel all right. Second they started having me get up and walk around, boom, it's back. And it's progressively getting worse and worse and worse as I'm walking and talking to them. And I'm telling them this, like, it is getting worse. It is getting bad. Can I get another, like, vertigo pill or something? And they're like, well, we usually don't like to let people have more than one every couple of hours. But it's been a few hours, so we'll check with the pharmacist. And I'm like, look, the room is spinning again. Like, this is not good. And she's like, all right, well, it could be something neurological, or you said you were fighting something. It could be something congesting. I'm like, could have been a sinus infection. And she's just like, maybe go see your primary and go and get a referral for a neurologist. That's it. 4 hours in the hospital, and all they had for me was go see another doctor. So my sister comes and picks me. Yeah. Like, sister comes and picks me up, and literally, like, within a minute after getting home, the room's still spinning, and I vomit again. Like, we barely got home. Barely got home. And it was like, I should have just stayed there. I should have just told her to go home, and I should have just gotten sick in the waiting room and told them to clean it up and bring me back to the fucking beds. But I was just like, I've had enough of this. So yeah, then I went and saw a nurse practitioner, and she's like, it's most likely a sinus issue. It's most likely like an infection or something. Whatever I had starting 2 weeks ago, probably settled in the sinuses. Especially since the vertigo hasn't really bothered me since. So yeah,
which, I mean, that's good.
It's been fun. The worst part is, like, the first time they gave me the anti-vertigo medicine, I threw it up within 5 minutes. So they had to give me another pill. And then the second time they gave it to me at 1:30 when I was leaving, like, within 20 minutes I threw it up again. Because I had just gotten home and then threw up. So I was like, well, this sucks. Right. Yeah, it was
obviously it's not doing its job.
No, it takes it like a half hour for it to kick in.
Oh.
Like, and even at that, like, I don't really think it worked. I think the only reason I wasn't feeling like the vertigo was because I just fell asleep. I laid my head back. That's the best way to like feel better. And that was the thing, was like, I felt like I was going to pass out. I didn't want to pass out at home. I had no problem passing out at the hospital, but like passing out at home, even if I was just laying in bed, like, who knows what the passing out was, if it was just the exhaustion or whatever. But like passing out at the hospital, yeah, I'll pass out at the hospital. Yeah, sure. If I'm laying in bed, I'll pass out here because people are going to have to be checking on me anyway. So it was an experience, and it's not fun.
No, that does sound bad. At least from what you were saying, like, the vertigo is better now. Like, yeah, it's just a sinus infection.
I get a little hints of occasional head heaviness and whatnot, but for the most part, yeah, the vertigo is gone. They prescribed me some vertigo medicine. I haven't taken it because I haven't needed to. I'm just on antibiotics now, fucking horse pills to hopefully fight, if it was bacterial, hopefully fight a bacterial. Or if it was an infection and not a viral infection, hopefully fight whatever it was. If it were viral, then the antibiotics aren't really doing anything for me, but placebo effect. But I get occasional tings of a headache or whatever too, so it is what it is right now.
That's fair. So I have a question for you before we actually get to anything else.
Sure.
So I've made it so that you have to play Mario World eventually.
Yes.
What is the I guess the route for that? Like, are you picking up from where you last played? Are you starting fresh? 100%?
Starting fresh, no level skip, but not necessarily 100%. So like
you might not see Torpedo Ted, is what you're telling me.
I guess. Like, if there's a level I don't have to play, then I won't play it. But I'm not going to... I don't know any of the level skips. I'm playing the game as I know it, basically. I'm not going to look into it. I'm not going to go into it trying to figure it out. I'm playing it as I know it, which is just a straight-through playthrough.
Okay. And is it just like to Bowser, essentially?
Yeah, just to Bowser. To roll credits.
Okay. I was just curious because, like, you have there's Star Road, for instance, and then there is what's the other one? Is it Star Road 2, Drew, or is it Star Road Special, or just
Star Road Special is the middle of it.
Yeah. So, Rich, I know you've never played it, but like, do you know what Star Road is?
No.
So there are like 5. Well, it's 5. There are 5 points in the world that have a hidden path that opens this star level, that when you go into that, there's like a secret level you play, and there are generally at least 2 exits to each of these levels. One of them is just like the regular goalpost and it clears the level. The other one actually connects that level to like the next star piece. The cool thing about it is the very first one is in it's like the 3rd level you can get to on the first island, basically. And you can do that and then get to Bowser that way. So it's considered the 11 exit route because you go through 11 exits to beat Bowser.
Yeah.
But when you do all of the Star Road maps, when you finish the last one, it opens up a secondary set of levels in the middle of Star Road that like warps you to another place. And I forget how many there are in there. I want 10 maybe?
It's either 8 or 10.
Because it's like 2 tracks of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And they're gimmicky levels, but they get progressively harder. To the point where, like, if you were trying to 100% it, like, I would actually probably tell you not to. I'd be like, hey, get to the special Star Road, give them a shot, but like, don't feel like you have to beat them because they are insanely hard just because of the gimmicks they kind of put into it.
Yeah. So basically, the way I'm going about Super Mario World. So for quick explanation for what Cobb is talking about how he's getting me to play Mario World on stream is I started doing sub pushes again. So sub goals. 10 was to get me to play Dino Crisis, and basically the way I did it was a 10 for me, 10 for you. So 10 for me was Dino Crisis, 10 for you as in the world, Super Mario World. 10 for me, Dino Crisis 2, 10 for the world, my first ever playthrough of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So if I get to 40, that'll be my first ever playthrough. And then from that point on, like at 50, there will be, right now it's Schedule 1. But if we don't reach 50 by the end of April, then that 50 goal will be something else. Schedule 1 is only an April goal because that's kind of a meme game right now that everyone's talking about that's probably going to die out soon, which is why I'm not really... Plus, it's just not really my kind of game. You're a drug dealer in that game.
I hear it's very funny, though.
It is. It's very funny. Like, you can... I was watching Neebs Gaming play it, and you can mix your weed with a donut, and then when somebody smokes it, their skin color changes or something like that. Like, it's goofy and weird, but it does get to a point where, like your uncle is talking about, like, all right, you're gonna have to sell meth now, and that's where I'm like, I'll deal weed, but I don't want to fucking deal meth and shit like that. Like, that just gets... I don't want to do that. So we reached 20 subs, and so Cobb is having me play, or not Cobb, but all my subscribers are having me play Super Mario World. The way I'm going about this is, if I need to look it up to do it, I don't know it exists. And so I'm going to play this game as if somebody brand new in the 90s was playing this game, and they did not have a guide. They were just playing the game. So if I happen upon something, I'll happen upon. But otherwise, I'm just playing the game as if somebody from the 90s were playing this game.
I'm trying to think, like, other than Star Road, you don't really need to get any of the switch blocks. Sound right, Drew? I feel like you can make it through that game without the switch blocks other than Star Road.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Like, I think there's a couple places where, like, it's easier if you've gotten them, but, like...
For sure.
You can get through the level, because... So, Rich, the switches are, like, the colored blocks get filled in around the world.
Yeah.
I want to say there's 4 or 5 of them.
4, red, blue, yellow, and green.
Okay. The yellow one is obvious because it's in the first world and you can see it. Like, it's obvious how to unlock that one. Every other
the only one that is.
The only other one I can't remember if it's actually shown on the map or not is in Vanilla Cavern. I feel like that one is visible, but you just don't know how to get to it. But it might be like the one on Dino Island where, like, it's not visible. It doesn't unlock until you actually unlock it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, there's like silly hidden stuff like that where, like, you should still be able to beat the game without doing it. And, like, some levels just have, like, alternate paths and stuff. Like, Vanilla Cavern, there's, like, sorry, I have to sneeze. Hang on.
Like, I think I'm pretty sure it's beatable without it, but the yellow one is the most obvious and easy one to finish and get.
Yeah, without the yellow one, it makes the second... I guess it's World 3 or Level 3 on that first island. It's like the second one to leave the island, like on the way to the castle, with all with the spinning platforms. It makes that level easier because if you fall, there's blocks below to catch you. If you don't have the switch and you fall, you die and you just have to start the level over. But it's a fairly easy level. So, like, if you die, it's because, like, you're just not used to the controls yet. And Rich, I think when you played a few years ago, you got to, I want to say, the last island.
I got to where I stopped and where I got frustrated was a later world for sure, but it ended up being like I think it was Dino Island. And
Dino Island's the second, like, it's the beginning of the game.
All right, and then it was something later on. Like, I could probably just pull it up on my Switch right now and even explain it.
I remember seeing the levels you played on. It's the island after the forest, the one that before you can go to Bowser's world.
Yeah, something like that. And it was there was a ring of levels that, like, there was I didn't have enough lives and I kept dying on one of them and I had to keep redoing it. And it was like one of the levels was just one of the more annoying levels in the game. I don't remember. Where is Super Mario World? Because I have adjusted this. Actually, I haven't really adjusted this SNES game. Oh, there it is. Apparently I have 99. Oh, this is Super Mario World Special. Never mind. Select. Come on. Start. How do I get back? Oh, boy.
Been a while since you played the Switch.
No. It's, yeah, I guess. My controllers aren't syncing. Let's just detach these controllers. It's been plugged in, so these controllers should be up to date. Or not up to date, but how do I get out of... Here we go. Game selection. I went to Super Mario World's special levels where it gives you 99 lives and everything's unlocked.
Oh, I forgot that was a thing.
Did it just say 36? So I just beat Castle 6. So I'm in the Chocolate Forest.
Yeah, Chocolate Island. I just brought up the thing. I also totally forgot. The second one is not called Dino Land. It's Donut Plains. So it's Yoshi's Island, Donut Plains, Vanilla Dome, Twin Bridges, Forest of Illusion, Chocolate Island, Valley of Bowser, and then there's Star World and Special Zone is what the final one's called.
And I think what it was because I have 5 lives right now, and Chocolate Island 3, there's like several different paths to go, and depending on the path you take, it just circles you back to Chocolate Island 3. Or something like that. So you actually have to know the right path to get there. And even like playing it a few times, I didn't know the path. So I kind of just gave up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like it opens up rocks.
Yeah, that's why I thought Forest of Illusion.
Yeah, the forest does that too.
Because, there's one level where if you don't do the secret exit, you can't progress.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Because, like, you have those where it does just make like a loop around. And then you have you have Vanilla Dome where there's actually like 2 different ways you can go. So like I think the main exit from the first level in Vanilla Dome is the one that'll take you through the water and to the ghost house, and then to Castle 3. And then the other one goes up, and I think it's 1 or 2 levels, but then that takes you to the to like Butter Bridge and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But that'll start probably next week or the week after. Definitely, at least at the latest the week after, because I should be beating Dino Crisis on Monday next week.
Nice. So here's like a cool trick you can try and do once you get far enough, if you think of it. Eventually you're probably going to get to the levels that on the bridges. If you get to the one where it's like the like saws that go up and down that like run across tracks and you're supposed to like ride the platforms, that level starts out with like a real long runway. If you go to that level with a Yoshi and a cape and just run right from the beginning and jump, you will actually be able to fly across the whole level just by like Yoshi bouncing off of the saws. Like they're spaced and their loading is perfectly aligned that you don't actually have to land. You'll just get right to the end of the level.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. You should try it.
If I remember.
Yeah, the only problem is I don't remember if it's I don't remember if it's the lower bridge that would take you technically to like the dead end world if you go the secret path, or if it's the upper bridge that has that. Do you remember, Drew, by chance?
I don't. I feel like it's the upper, but I could be totally wrong. It's been forever.
I think it's upper too, because the lower bridge is the one where you actually have to fly to unlock the level with Torpedo Ted in it. That's the one where like you have to get near the end of the level and then fly underneath the goalpost to come up behind it where there is another goalpost.
Right.
Yeah, man, that's a good game. Hopefully you don't hate it this time, Rich.
Oh, I'll probably get to a point like with most retro games and retro playthroughs. I enjoy it at first, and then I get to a point where I'm just like, man, this is dumb.
At least you're not doing like I'm gonna play all the Mario games yet.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that.
Maybe you should. There are a lot of them.
No,
that can keep you busy for a long time.
Look. I mean, they would keep me busy for a while, but no, I don't really have that level of interest in that. Maybe to be honest, all of the 3D Mario games for sure. Like even like 3D World, but like Mario 64 is probably like the furthest of my interest. But I'm interested in that. But then Sunshine, Galaxy, I wish I could like play Galaxy 2, but that's a Wii only game.
Oh right, that one wasn't on the thing.
No, it wasn't on the thing. So there's no real way for me to play that, at least at the moment, unless I were to like obtain it again, because I do believe I still own my Wii U. But I know I lent it to Druton's brother because his girlfriend at the time had gotten a Wii, and I never got it back. So whatever, it's a million years ago. But yeah, so other than that one, there wouldn't really be much out, like probably like 3D World and all the stuff that are like the Wonders. I wouldn't mind playing Wonders. But yeah, it's going to be a while before I do all that.
Which yeah, that's fair. You got other stuff you want to play.
Yeah.
Speaking of other stuff, let's get into the actual show. Rich, what is on the agenda?
As I had mentioned, I have been playing Dino Crisis, the 1999 PlayStation game Dino Crisis, due to the sub goals, as well as this weekend I started watching. I almost finished it, but we already went over my tale of going to the hospital. I started watching Echo, and Cobb might have watched a bit of it.
I watched those first 3 episodes as well.
So yeah, that's what we got this week. I don't think there's anything else, right? No, there's nothing else. So it's all me. It's all on me. You put everything on the sick kid.
Yep.
Rude.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
But yeah, so I'll just get us started with some Dino Crisis. Yeah, so because of 10 subs, I started playing Dino Crisis game I've been wanting to play for a long time. I remember I have strict memory of watching my brother play it back when we were younger because, well, he took over all the video games whenever we were younger, so I never really got to play stuff. And And so I never actually got to play it myself. And it was recently, like last year, Dino Crisis 1 and 2 were on GOG for like $5 total or some shit like that. And so I ended up just buying them. And it's just been like, all right, when am I going to play this on stream? And so I decided to add them to the sub rewards, and we reached 10 subs. And so I was like, all right, well, I was looking for something to play now that like kind of done with, for the most part, with Monster Hunter until 3 months from now. Outside of playing it once a week. So like, all right, I need something new to play, and that gave me something new to play. So Dino Crisis is, if you like classic Resident Evil, it's Capcom, it's classic Capcom, it's survival horror, it's Resident Evil with dinosaurs, tank controls and everything. It's got all of that old school Resident Evil charm, but with dinosaurs, which is both more annoying and frustrating, but also more fun because I was talking to somebody yesterday after I rated it out to them on stream, and it's like the best way to put it is everything feels chunky because the character models and everything, because it's early PlayStation days. And yeah, that's
I was about to ask, like, this was the PlayStation series.
It was PlayStation, yeah.
What was the Nintendo 64 dinosaur? Turok.
You're talking Turok, yeah. Yeah, and that one's first person. Turok's first person as well. This one is like
it's Resident Evil.
It's Resident Evil, but dinosaurs. But yeah, it's great. And like, let me tell you, nostalgia hits when you turn the game on and you get that Capcom chime for them spelling out Capcom. I know you both know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
Yeah. The chime, like, God, the nostalgia hits, boom, right away the second that starts. And it's just, it is like, again, it's, if you have love for old school Resident Evil, and if you like dinosaurs, you'll like this game. It is a, like, at times it's a little easy, at times it's a little hard. It really depends on how you're playing. I've, like, gotten myself into a corner of, like, I understand survival horror and, like, you're gonna be low on ammo and things like that. You're not supposed to kill everything. And I tend to really only kill things if I know I'm going to be going into a room a lot. But, like, near the end of the game, you encounter these super dinosaurs that are, like, they'll kill you in 2 hits even at full health. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. But it's still fun. And, like, there's ways to get around them. You know how to move them. Like, the controls, like, again, it's tank controls, so it's a little clunky, but at the same time, you'll get used to it quickly. It's up means you're walking in the direction the character's facing. That's what up means. So just always hold up, and then turn left and right with holding left and right, and they'll make that big wide turn left or that big wide turn right. I tried playing it on like analog stick. Don't do that. Just don't do that. That's just a bad idea. Because it doesn't have that same input connection as if, like, if you turn the analog stick too much, they stop moving and they just start turning. So, like, you need to hold up and then hold left and right to get that diagonal movement that you would get. Luckily, in this one, you can actually move while holding your gun out, unlike almost every Resident Evil prior to Resident Evil, 6, 5, something like that.
You definitely could do it with 5. I don't remember if you could do it with 4.
Actually, I don't think you could have done it in 5. I think it was 6. I could have
sworn you could.
It might not even have been 6. No, it might not have been 6. It might have been 7 when it became first person. But yeah, you can, like, actually move while aiming, and it's just it's got the weird PlayStation 1 jank that's also fun. The weirdest thing about this is there is you only have 30 deaths in the game. If you die 30 times, like, you run out of continues. So, like, I went into, like, a boss encounter with a T-Rex yesterday at, like, 28 continues, and I left at under 20.
Oof.
Because the encounter is a T-Rex. You're on, like, the second floor of the building. A T-Rex comes up and starts knocking you around. So you have to get to the end of the walkway, and you have to fend off the T-Rex until the doors unlock. And the only way to do that is to shoot the T-Rex in time with it attacking you, so it staggers it, basically. But it's early PlayStation jank, where, like, sometimes button presses are, like, even if you're spot on, even if you're spot on, it still might not quite hit the right time and whatnot, the input lag and stuff like that. that you kind of just have to hope that you hit it at the right time. And that's after about 10 deaths, I got it. And it was like, all right, cool. I lost like 10 lives in this. It's the story is fine. It's a survival horror story. It's a dinosaur survival horror story. So it's, some weird experiments are happening on its island. And now there's dinosaurs. The dinosaurs aren't even there because they were trying to bring them back or anything. It was they're trying to create a new way of energy, so, like a new energy source, and in doing so, created a portal that pulled in that like dinosaurs came from, or some shit like that. This might, like, honestly, Exoprimal might actually be the spiritual successor of this fucking game.
Isn't that what they were saying it was, or was that the spiritual successor to something else dino related?
I don't know. Like, I don't know, but I know, like, the dinosaurs in Exoprimal were pulled in from, like, a portal, and they were, like, actually digital dinosaurs.
I mean, it is a Capcom game. Oh, it's not related to the Dino Crisis series, though the producer of that series was involved in the development and production of Exoprimal.
Yeah, I just got that. Apparently, yeah, I don't know, yeah, but, like... Yeah, it's funny, but, like, I'm near the end, I know that much. I wanted to keep going yesterday, but I just, like, there was just a little bit too much, and a little bit too much backtracking, not knowing, like, it's very nice to play a survival horror game and not know what to do. Because, like, even my first playthrough of Resident Evil 8, which, like, arguably you could say is survival horror, I still, like, the map tells you a lot. Like, it is a major change as to how different gaming was back in the late 90s to today, and how, like, yeah, handholdy things are at times. Whereas, like, there's no log or anything like that in Dino Crisis. There's no, like, it doesn't save all of the files you've read. You read a file and it has a code for you. You have to write that bitch down. It doesn't save it anywhere.
Oh, that's
or
a lot.
if you have a key card for a door, like, or if you have, like, key cards for something, you actually have to go and put the key cards in to do that stuff. It won't just be like, all right, well, you have this key card. Do you want to put it in? Some doors it'll be like, all right, you have the door key and the key card and whatever, but other points it won't. And so, like, you actually have to know what you have and know what you're doing and know where you're going. There's no like, oh, this room is colored blue because there's more items you can find in here, whereas, like, modern Resident Evil has that. No, it's, if you missed an item, you missed an item, and you're gonna probably have to go back to that. So it is crazy how different games are, especially in the same genre, 20 years apart from each other. But it's fun. It's fun to play. It's got its jank. It's not like the most exciting game or anything like that, but it's still, I like it. I love it. I hope we reach the 30 subs so that we can also play Dino Crisis 2. Apparently there was a third one. I didn't even look this up, but somebody had mentioned to me yesterday that there was Dino Crisis 3.
I don't know that, was there?
It was Xbox only.
Huh.
Here you go.
Yeah. That cover does look familiar.
Yeah.
Huh. Was that the last one?
That was the last one, yeah. And apparently it was weird, and they send the dinosaurs to space or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, the cover certainly is like a space station.
Yeah.
Oh, there was also Dino Stalker.
I don't think that has anything to do with this.
It's on the timeline. Oh, it's a light gun shooter. And the third installment in a gun sort of it contains characters from Dino Crisis 2.
Okay. It's funny though, playing this, like, back in the day, I know this is like top of the line graphically, or probably close to top of the line. I thought this game looked better, but it doesn't. It doesn't look that great at all.
I mean, that era of games never does.
Yeah, no.
But it does still, like, it's got some charm to it, and that's why I like it. Apparently, okay, so it was January that I got it. In January 2025, Dino Crisis and its sequel were re-released on GOG with support for Windows 10 and 11, as well as 4K and modern gamepads. So yeah,
so that was.
I'm playing on PC. I'm playing on GOG. So
is it like a remaster, or is it the actual, like, original?
It's the original game. It's not a remaster. Like, it's just like somehow GOG, I don't know how GOG works, Drew. I think you know more about GOG than I do. But like somehow they got the rights to be able to like sell this, and they were able to mod it or whatever to run on modern machines.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a Windows port of the game originally, so
yeah,
this is just
you probably just the Windows version of it.
Whatever work they put into doing to get games working on modern systems, like modern PCs. Yeah, it's what they do over at, what is it? Good Old Games, what GOG stands for?
Yeah. I believe so, because that's
fucking CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. Thank you. The Witcher guys.
Yeah. Which after playing this, has got me thinking, like, man, there's other old games I'd want to play. Like, I was looking on GOG to see if Parasite Eve is on there.
I was literally just in my head thinking, did you ever play Parasite Eve? And was going to say, like...
Yes and no. So, like, Parasite Eve... So, for anyone who doesn't know, like, we had, like, me and my brother and my family, we had, like, every PlayStation title. We had well over 300 PlayStation titles, or at least 300 discs. Not necessarily 300 titles, but 300 discs. Or close to it, because we had a modded PlayStation that could play bootleg games or copied games. So we would be able to just go to Blockbuster, copy the game, and then play it. And so we had all the Parasite Eves, and the summer that we got those was like the summer that Shahed like really started hanging out. And so it was again me watching Eric and Shahed playing the Parasite Eve, or me watching Eric play it, for the most part. I never actually got to play it. It was always me watching somebody else. Same with the, was that the Onimusha games? I think in the Onimusha games, there's 2 playable characters, and so we would, like, pass the controller off. But the passing the controller off with 2 playable characters would be, Eric was one, Shahed was the other, and I was just fucking stuck watching them play games. Because he was my friend, and he had to play games because he had to have fun. And then it was Onimusha 3 when there was, like, the 3rd playable... Maybe it wasn't... No, it wasn't Onimusha. What was it? Maybe it was. There's one of those games where, like, there was a 3rd character, and I got to play, and it was a female character, and she only had, like, a 20-minute part in the game. Was it Onimusha? Because I know Jean Reno was in Onimusha 3.
I mean, that's the only game... Like, I never played anything beyond the first Onimusha.
There might have been a different game that was like a similar style to Onimusha. I don't remember, but it was like the female character had like guns in it, but I don't know. I don't fully remember, but like it was just during the summers back when we were younger. We would have these like we would be able to just sit here. We would just play games all day, and it would end up being I was watching my brother play or I was watching somebody else play. I never actually got to sit down and play games, so like I did watch them and I've seen them played through, never played them myself. Or like if I did get to play them, I didn't get far enough to really get anywhere because I wouldn't get as much game time.
Which, you know, that's one of the shitty parts, it sounds like, of being a younger child.
Yeah. My mom, I've had these like conversations with my parents before, and she's like, "No, you guys always had an hour." I'm like, "No. We didn't." Eric would get to play for like 3 hours, and then you'd give him an hour after he's already played so that I could play, and then you'd give me an hour because it'd be bedtime afterwards. That's how it always was. Like, I never got... Like, that's why, like, the one time that I got in trouble because I punched him in the nose, I took advantage of playing video games. Like, I just wasn't allowed to go outside, and at the time, not being allowed to go outside was a punishment because we had friends over. I took advantage of that, and I played video games. That was Sega Genesis. Like, I never got to actually play the big games, and it kind of sucked.
Well, hey, look, now you're an adult. You get to play whatever games you want.
Yeah, but it's also like I don't want to play those big games anymore. And it's hard to keep my interest that long.
I mean, like, and even in some cases, those older games they're not fun to play anymore either.
Yeah, but yeah, Parasite Eve is something I've always wanted to play and get into. It's not available anywhere. As far as I know, it's not available anywhere. Unless I can get an emulator for it.
I mean, you can definitely get an emulator for it.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised it's not available anywhere.
Me too. But I don't
For some reason I thought I saw something about it, like, not that long ago.
No, like, they never They've never done anything with it.
But yeah, I mean, like it would be very easy to get emulators for those.
Yeah.
PS1 games, like you can play those shit on your phone now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else about Dino Crisis?
No, I'll have it beat next week to be able to talk more about it, but it's going to be it's fun. Hopefully I don't like run out of continues and shit. Like there was a point yesterday where I was like, "Oh, I think I'm going to beat this." I thought the game was longer. And then like, "Oh no, our escape way is now destroyed by a T-Rex." Great. So it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how it wraps up, and I think Dino Crisis 2 is actually the better of the two. It might be bigger, or might be like I have less memory of Dino Crisis 1 than I do of Dino Crisis 2.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting Dino Crisis and Turok confused, so I obviously have no knowledge of either. They were those games where I'm like, oh, dinosaurs are cool, but like just never actually tried the games.
Dinosaurs are rad, man. They're so rad. Oh my god, I'm looking at screenshots from Dino Crisis 2. That's looking rough.
So you can play 1 and 2, but not 3.
But not 3, because that wasn't on GOG, and I don't know if it was an Xbox exclusive, but I don't know if it's actually like playable on. Windows operating systems. Windows 8, Windows Server 2012, Windows phones.
Wait, does it really say Windows Server?
Oh wait, no, hold on, never mind. That's the Xbox app is what it's running on. I clicked Xbox and then it just went to the Xbox app. Yeah, the platform itself is just Xbox, so it's probably not playable anywhere.
Again, without like emulator.
Unless I get an emulator. But a lot of people are like, yeah, it's not part of the actual series, and it got really insane.
I'm actually just double checking Steam. Well, it doesn't actually look like the games aren't on Steam at all. So GOG is the only place to get them.
Yeah, that game's it's that old. Yeah,
it's funny enough. You can buy the soundtracks on Steam, which is silly. But I guess shall we move along then?
Well, on the note of dinosaurs, real quick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It has been, I believe, over a year since the announcement of Jurassic Park Survival, and we still have not gotten anything from the developer about it.
Oh yeah, I mean that game's never coming out. I forgot that.
I'm pretty sure it's fake because and I've gone over this in the past. You can go to the Jurassic Park Survival Twitter page, and it's been almost a year since they even posted anything about it. Like the official Twitter page, the most recent thing was a repost from was them reposting. The game was canceled?
Yeah.
Where did you find that at?
Oh wait, no. There was a different Jurassic Park Survival. Interesting.
But their most recent tweet was a retweet of the Jurassic World trailer. Prior to that, June 27th, 2024 was the last time they shared anything.
Right, because this was the one that it's set one day after.
It's set Park. After Jurassic Park. You play as a character who got left on Isla Nublar.
Right. Yeah, but so there was a canceled PS2 era game that was also called Jurassic Park Survival from 2001. And you know what though? Like Saber Interactive's at least like a real studio. But they're owned by Embracer Group, so it's like one of those, like, maybe the game comes out, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, it's just, I find it funny that, like, I've even tweeted at them, like, hey, any word? Like, been a year since you announced this, and we've gotten nothing. And I even had people, like, a fan was, like, retweeting, oh, they're waiting to drop more information when the new Jurassic World movie comes out. I was like, no, they're not. The game just doesn't exist. It's done. It's fake. It's just not going to come out. But yeah, I want that game to come. I want that game to come out because I want like a horror Jurassic Park game in the world of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, looking at like Saber's games, like I forgot, like they kind of do stuff with Aspyr. So like they did the Tomb Raider remasters that have been coming out the last couple years. They do some of the Warhammer Space Marine games. But they're working on a Turok game and the Jurassic Park game.
Yeah. And if you go to saber.games, the first thing that plays on their thing is the Jurassic Park. Like literally the first thing you see on their top banner is like a scene from the Jurassic Park trailer, and that is, if you scroll down, it's still listed as their first upcoming game, Jurassic Park Survival, and then Turok Origins. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, all released TBA with no information.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Is this a remake of that old game? Yeah, they're remaking Painkiller. I guess it's a remake, which comes out later this year.
All right then.
Or is it like a new game? I don't know.
But Rich, what have you thought about Echo so far?
It's unfortunate that I don't care more about this character.
Right? Like this character is just like, they're boring. They're
to me, I think they're a cool character. But it also, and like, I hate saying it this way, but this kind of feels like an attempt at DEI. Like, they are a deaf character who's an amputee and a native person. Like, but they didn't really do a lot to help this character. And they're also giving her powers, which she doesn't have in the comics.
I mean, she's Phoenix in the comics.
Yeah, but that's not the power they're giving her in this. Like, she gets the Phoenix Force at some point in the comics, yes, but she doesn't have the Phoenix Force in fucking the MCU.
Yeah, so and her powers in the comics are like muscle
memory, and
it's not muscle memory. She can perfectly mimic somebody's movements.
Yeah,
so like if she sees somebody do something, she can then do it.
Which she's basically Taskmaster, Taskmaster.
Similar. So I think his is actually more like maybe like supernatural than hers.
Mm-hmm.
I think hers is supposed to be more of just like she is a highly trained like martial artist and can follow things.
And so like, I guess they couldn't have two in the major MCU. They couldn't have two heroes or two enemies or two characters with basically the same abilities, with Taskmaster being in a much lamer version I've ever experienced of Taskmaster being in Black Widow, and then them both have the same abilities.
I forgot that was a character.
Yeah. Which, isn't she in the Thunderbolts?
Yes.
I think Taskmaster's in the Thunderbolts.
I believe you're right.
But yeah, it's like, I don't think anything they're showing is bad. It's interesting. I did not know that I completely forgot that she shot Kingpin. Completely forgot.
Same. I did not realize that was a flashback at first.
One of the reasons I started watching this is because Kingpin mentions that in Daredevil. Mentions like, oh, he got shot. And so I was like, did I miss something? And it was, it's at the end of a Hawkeye that she ends up shooting Kingpin and then running off. And so it's like, what it is her, like, it's her redemption story of not being a villain anymore and being against Kingpin. And that's really cool. But like, I don't like, and it's not that she's uninteresting. It's just that like, she didn't pull my interest in the show originally. And this was like, this series itself feels a little half-hearted.
Well, so this character, like Echo, she doesn't really have a personality in the first 2 episodes or any of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in this 3rd episode, like, she seems to be getting a little bit of a personality. Like, there's, like she makes, like, a little bit of a joke at one point in the episode, and, like, she starts doing, like, she makes the kind of improvised gun to shoot, like, the bolt things. At the skate park, or not skate park, skate rink. But like before that, like in the first 2 episodes, she's just kind of there.
She's there, and you see that she's like more of a manipulator than anything else. Like, she gets what's his name to like help her with the thing, and he's like, it's not illegal, is it? And she's like, well, you're gonna help anyway, basically. Yeah. And like, I'll be like, this series has pulled my interest the least out of anything I've watched. Like, I was on my phone a lot more. Now, granted, I might have just been already feeling sick throughout watching it, and it was losing my focus. But I did get the gist of everything that was going on. I honestly forgot. I thought I'd watched more than 3 episodes. Which, again, like, it's only a 5-episode series.
And the first episode is like an hour long one compared to like the 35 minutes for the rest of them.
I honestly feel like they might have dropped the ball not making this like a made for D plus movie or something like that. If they had just done one movie with this instead of 5 variable episodes, but most of them being a half hour. Literally, I think it's like an hour, 49 minutes, 45 minutes, 38 minutes, and then 35 minutes. Like there's they
keep in mind anything on Disney Plus, whatever the runtime says it is, subtract 8 minutes because that's the credits. The credits.
Yeah, so it's like even shorter. They could have turned this into like a Disney Plus movie or something, which I wouldn't have minded that. They could have filled out the character story and backstory and stuff like better, or not better, just as well with that, teaching more about the character. Like I'm interested to see how it ends. I'm interested, especially with this like post with the end of this, with this cliffhanger from episode 3. I'm interested to see what happens from here on out. You get to learn more about her as a character in this next episode and throughout her life. Like I do want to, I want to see. I'm interested, but it's just like, yeah, it's a little unfortunate that like there doesn't seem to be as much to the character. It's herself.
Yeah, like I think so. For what it's worth, like I think like the action sequence, well, the 2 really. So there's like the quick little Daredevil one, which I thought was cool. And then like the stuff in the skating rink. I thought that was also like that was a fun sequence. Like just seeing her kind of like beat the pulp out of these guys. Especially like her being deaf, like seeing her both use that to an advantage, but also kind of still being at a disadvantage because she turns the music up, so like those guys can't really hear anything either. But like she can't hear anything, so like she doesn't know if there's 2 people or 1 person unless everyone is in line of sight. And she's like creeping around in that weird like funhouse thing.
Yeah, like they do a really good job at like it's a very atmospheric, this show, and they do a really good job, especially when they're focusing in on her, to mute the audio and make it quieter, not necessarily like make you fully deaf, but like make you experience how she's experiencing things in a similar sense.
That is when they like muffle or mute everything.
Yeah. But it's just like, I don't know. There's just a little bit of this series that I was like, I'm not saying it wasn't necessary, but maybe 5 episodes is too long.
Well, it's also, I feel like it's a series that doesn't fit. At least like up to this 3rd episode, I don't see a reason for it. Other than playing off of the Kingpin thing where he got shot at the end of Hawkeye. But it took them 3 years to get to that. Because I thought this show came out longer ago. This show came out the beginning of January 2024, so just over a year ago. Hawkeye was in 2021, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't strikes. There weren't strikes, but there was just a lot of like.
It just took them a long time because they were doing other shows before they got to this one. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, you're right. Like maybe if this had come out soon, closer to Hawkeye,
or felt more connected.
Yeah,
because
I kind of feel the same with Agatha all the way. Like that, WandaVision was the first D+ series, right?
It was, but I will give it credit because you haven't started WandaVision yet, right?
I haven't started Agatha yet.
I'm sorry,
Agatha.
Agatha at least acknowledges that it's been like several years.
Yeah.
They do not try and play it off as like, oh, this was really just right after WandaVision finishes. Like they acknowledge it's been like 5 years of time since the end of WandaVision, or however long it had actually been, 3.5, 4 years. So that one at least works. It's not, oh, this is the next day. She still has the knife wound from.
But that's the thing. It wasn't even. It was like 6 months later.
Was it supposed to be that much longer?
I'm pretty sure it said like 5 months later, or like at least 6 weeks, if not 6 months. Like
it might have been weeks.
There was some time after like all of the all of the backstory stuff.
But even then, even at 6 months, like 6 months versus 3 years. Like, a lot of time passed where, like, this character wasn't important in Hawkeye, really. Like, she was there as an antagonist that they tried to kind of build on, but, like, she was not the primary antagonist or anything in that series. So, then doing a spinoff that took 3 years to get to, and having it be, at least so far, completely disconnected from everything else, other than, like, we know Fisk is involved, which that does tie into Daredevil. So, like you said, like Fisk makes a reference to being shot in Daredevil. But, like, as far as I've heard, like, Echo is not supposed to be in Daredevil. So there's not really, like, any connection to this character post this series. Like, a year later, there has been no mention of this character being involved in anything else.
It's been, like, 5 months since she shot Fisk.
Okay.
I just looked it up. I have it up. It says 5 months later. So what the hell happened in the 5 months that gave her that gunshot in her side? Like, has she just been running?
It was
from
a
Fisk's?
knife. And
was
actually,
it a knife? I thought it was a gunshot. It was a gun.
No, she says a knife. In the episode where the mortician helps her. Was
it? Whatever it was though, like, what the hell happened? Like, has she just been running from Fisk? Like, I guess it's building up that she's been running from Fisk's men this whole time. But it's just like, how did I don't know, how did she just survive 5 months with that? But obviously maybe it was just fresh. But, like, they've been chasing her all this time. It
also looked, I mean, like, that wound also looked real bad.
Yeah. No, it was a bullet. He says bullet or blade, and she says bullet.
Oh, does she say bullet?
Yeah.
Okay, then. I believe you. I definitely thought she made, like, a knife, like a stabby.
It's because she puts her 2 fingers out and her thumb out, and she moves it like shooting, but moves it back. So, like, I can see that. But, no, I knew that wasn't a stab wound, because it was a big gaping hole. But yeah, it's so, you're right. It's like, it does feel detached and disconnected. It's been so long, and this character was like, I feel the same about this character as much as I feel about, like, Ghost being in the Thunderbolts. Like, Ghost was a villain in not Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, but, like, she wasn't the main villain. She was actually someone who needed help. And she was being led astray by friggin' Lawrence Fishburne's character. And that's why, like, she was doing what she was doing. Like, I mean, I guess give her more of a redemption story. But, yeah, it's a weird call, especially since, like, I don't know. I'd understand it a little bit more if maybe Echo was in the Thunderbolts. But Echo's not in the Thunderbolts.
No, because Echo is such an again, like, it's such a disconnected character.
Yeah,
like all of the Thunderbolt villains are, like, actual villains, or like, anti-heroes in some cases. Like, they're not the girl who worked for Fisk for doing, like, dirty.
They're not the girl who worked for a villain who, up until recently, we didn't even know was still officially canon in the MCU.
True. Very true. It's a shame, because, like, I feel like this character could actually be interesting, and it's just they're not giving the character a chance.
Yeah, I agree, but I also I find it so weird that they decided to randomly give her powers where she can, like, learn from her ancestors or something like that. Like, I don't even, like, it was the episode that she blows up the train. I looked away. Her powers activated and she was able to hook the train I don't even remember what she did with her powers on the train.
Yeah, because she doesn't actually know what her powers are.
Yeah, like, she can, well, and it's like, it fills you in, like, she's learning from her ancestors. And every time, like, in the 3rd episode, she's in that gunfight, and then it keeps flashing back and forth to one of her ancestors who was in a gunfight.
That was actually kind of cool, too. That whole scene. And I do like the flashbacks in the beginning of the episodes, like the ones going back, like, hundreds and hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
I think those have been interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like, so the problem is, I can't remember. So I think I read a comic where Echo, like, went back in time and was dealing with ancestors similar to like, not similar to this, but in a like similar vein, like ancestors that also had powers. But I might be getting her confused with another character. I know it was a female hero, but it's like just long enough ago now, and it was like a mini series. Let me see if I can find it. No, that is way too long ago. Daredevil and Echo. No, that's definitely not it. Okay, no, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'll have to look through like comics I've read and see if I can locate it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a few years ago.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like I don't think the show is bad, but I don't think the show A was 100% needed, but B like I don't know where the show is going, and it's like I don't know. Yeah, I just don't really know what hole they're filling in, because without watching this, like the only reason I didn't watch this because I was lost with Daredevil. I watched this because I forgot that that she did what she did, and I just was looking for something to watch. And then I was like, oh, that's right, she did this, and that's what reminded me about who I honestly thought Yelena shot Fisk for a second. When Fisk in Daredevil mentions getting she shot me or whatever in Daredevil, I was like, oh, that's right, Yelena shoots him. No, I was wrong. It was Echo. But like, I don't know. Yeah, I hate saying it, but it does feel like that this show was kind of just a show made for representation.
Yeah, and like it could also be one of those. They did a show to see if it worked for the character, like if they could make the character something, kind of like they did with Inhumans. Like, whereas like with Inhumans they did it, but they also had kind of broadcasted how they wanted to make the Inhumans big. They could have been doing something similar without broadcasting that they were testing the waters to see if this character could carry things. And then like I don't think there was no real chatter about this series after it came out. I don't know how well it did as far as like streaming numbers went, but like I feel like
I hope her as a character does come back, but like as like a sidekick type deal, not necessarily as the main lead. I was hoping to maybe see her, like that would have been cool to maybe see her in Daredevil, but she's not. As far as I've up to last week's episode, she's not in Daredevil, so she's probably not going to be there. Unfortunately, to me, it seems like she's probably done. And depending on however this series ended, like she's most likely she's done. Which on that note, I think I read a report that Vincent D'Onofrio has said that legally he is not allowed to appear in the movies based on his contract.
Probably because the character is like owned by Sony still. Because I think Fisk is Fisk was probably sold with the Spider-Man rights.
Yeah, but that's a bummer. But also, I mean, he's not that big of he's not a movie threat. He's really good as a series threat. He's not a movie threat.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, we'll have more to talk about Echo next week when we finish it.
Yeah, with only 2 episodes left, I'll try and finish it either like tomorrow or Friday because I have half days both days.
I almost just finished it today. Like I almost just like is an hour left. I almost just like, all right, lunch break. I'm gonna finish this show, but I didn't.
Yeah, I thought about I actually thought about reading more of it or reading more of it. Sorry, watching more of it. But I'm like, you know what? You only got to episode 3. I'm not going to watch more and then kind of like blur the lines.
Yeah, makes sense. And that's kind of where I was. I was like, all right, well, I told him I only watched, like, if I would have texted him and been like, hey, I'm going to just watch the others today, you probably would have fit it in and just been like, all right, I'll watch all 5. Or just not watched it at all. But, yeah, well, so I'll have it finished this week. But
okay, I think what I saw was, or what I read was Phoenix Song Echo. Yeah, yep, it was an Echo comic. And it was like a pretty good one. Like, I remember enjoying it. And it was like right after she got like the Phoenix Force. She was traveling through time, protecting her ancestors from a villain who I think was like doing one of those, trying to kill like somebody in her timeline so that she would never be born. But yeah, you know, like that character has some cool like in comic stories, and the show not as much.
Yeah, the show, like they kind of just, I don't know, undersold it or something in my opinion. Like
yeah. And like, who knows? Maybe these last 2 episodes are absolutely fantastic.
And like, again, the show's not bad. It's just I don't see a point really. Like it's unfortunate because like when you're building, I've had this argument with like with Black Widow and stuff like that. But like when you're building an overarching universe and you're building a multiverse, like a series, like a multi-character, multi-show like universe like the MCU and stuff. Unfortunately, there kind of does need to be a point to everything that you release.
Yeah,
and like
everything needs to be connected, and
it has to connect, or it has to have like some sort of like key like log to like the overarching story. But this one is just like it is a side story that like doesn't affect the story that it's even connected with.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, and I don't think I was doing a good job of it. Like it feels like it's completely disconnected from everything else.
Yeah.
In a way where none of these other series have been. Like Miss Marvel was kind of like its own thing, but by the end it kind of connected to bigger things. And then she appeared in the Marvels.
Yeah.
And then like She-Hulk was like a very different sort of show, but it had Daredevil and it had references to like the Hulk and Abomination
and it had a
like it had characters that weren't even like Abomination had not been seen in the MCU in over a decade.
Like, even have you watched any of Daredevil yet, Cobb?
I have not.
All right, so the first episode of Daredevil, and this is like into the first episode when they introduce or reintroduce Kingpin. There's like no mention. Like he's skinnier, he's lost weight. I guess probably because Vincent D'Onofrio had to lose weight medically, health-wise. But he's lost weight, and they mentioned that. And he's just been gone for a while. And then that's what they talk. Oh, you've been gone. We didn't know you were coming back. All that kind of feels like, oh, you've been gone because you were like on your deathbed. Somebody shot you in the head. They don't mention any of that. They don't mention that he went like at the end of episode 3. He is out of the hospital somehow.
Yeah, he has an eye patch.
With an eye patch, talking to Echo at her home. Like, they don't mention that. They don't mention, like, anything as far as we know that's going to happen in the next 2 episodes. So it kind of feels like they even wrote this show off. Like,
yeah.
It's weird. Like, it's weird.
Unfortunately, because, like, hearing that, for sure.
The show isn't even connected to what it's connected to. Like, it's connected to Hawkeye, and that's it. And maybe if we get a Hawkeye 2, maybe she'll make an appearance again. Maybe she'll come back, but
even then, like, I feel like, yeah, we're not going to get another Hawkeye show, because that was another one where, like, I feel like the only ones that they're doing second seasons for are the ones that really, like, landed, which was Loki.
And, yeah.
And technically WandaVision with Agatha.
Yeah.
But, like they took Falcon and Winter Soldier and made it movies.
Yeah. And that's what these series were supposed to do. We're supposed to be set up series so that, like, you have an understanding of the in-between, which is nice. But, like, yeah, this one, it didn't set anything up.
Yeah, it really didn't. It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
But I think that might be it.
I think so.
Drew,
yeah.
Anything you want to talk about?
I mean, we went to that concert up in Montclair, but that's about it.
That is true. Yeah, we saw the second to last show for the Boys Night Out concert.
Yeah.
Tour, whatever. I don't know. That feels longer ago than just like 5 days.
I know, right?
Did you end up sticking around until like after Armor for Sleep wrapped up?
Yeah, we stayed to the end of their set and then bounced.
Right after. I left like the Car Underwater was playing when I left, because I'm just like, you know what? Let me get out now before like everyone starts like leaving, because at least like I can get out of the garage in a timely fashion. Because I wasn't sure how many people parked in that garage for the venue, and getting out of parking lots and garages when things let out it's just a fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time though.
It was.
Yeah, we like cool venue, but like weird how like far out that balcony came. I know we were talking about that while we were there, but like, so Rich, just to give you an idea, like the place wasn't like. Have you ever been to Union Transfer?
I think so.
So it's probably around the size of Union Transfer. So like not huge, but like not TLA tiny either.
Mm-hmm.
And like they have a balcony that comes like halfway out to like the general admission area. Like almost the balcony is almost the entire length of like the room.
Mm.
And then they have like this weird tiered thing too. So they have like the main floor GA, and then in the middle of the room they have like an elevated section that's seating. And then behind that, they have another section elevated above that is more general admission.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really weird. Really weird. But yeah, I guess that will do it.
Yeah.
If you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, you can always support us by going to your favorite podcasting platform, iTunes, Spotify, Google, or YouTube. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of it helps. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. We are also OneQuest on Blue Sky. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what is your streaming?
Twitch.tv/B_1notes for video game streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Sea of Thieves on Thursdays, Monster Hunter on Sundays, Dino Crisis, Super Mario World, I don't know, whatever we're getting into on the rest of the days. So just come hang out and try to help me reach some goals. Guys, it's been slow growing this year, and I would really love to reach 1,000 followers. So
what do you got?
Come follow me. I'm at barely at 586. We started the year at 550. So it's been very slow going this year.
Hey man, it's only April.
Yeah, it's like 30.
10 a month.
In 4 months.
Hey, we're at the beginning of April still.
Yeah.
Optimism. I'm trying to be optimistic for you.
I usually average like 200 a year, and like I don't even think we're close to that average.
I mean, do you know what you average like in like the first half versus like the later half?
No, I don't know.
I wasn't sure if those sorts of things even got tracked.
It doesn't.
I mean that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah, go watch Richie play Mario World in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you've got your what are we a month and a half out from like your next anniversary Lollapalooza thing?
To June. And still playing with ideas, and I've come up with an idea with somebody else to do a Pokemon randomizer run where you guys
hang on. Literally, I was just about to say, are you going to do a Pokemon randomizer?
And it's not going to be like the randomizer where like every door is a different door, but like items and Pokemon locations and stuff like that are going to be randomized.
Yeah.
And you guys have to tell me how many Pokemon I have to catch before I end the run. So depending on
kind of like with the moons or whatever they were.
Yeah. So I was playing with the idea of doing like a boss rush with Elden Ring, but like I don't really know. Like I like the idea, but I don't really know if I'm feeling the idea, if that makes sense. Because that's a lot, and that could be very stressful and very frustrating at times. Whereas like a Pokemon randomizer catching run, like we could set the randomizer in ways to where it won't be as frustrating, and I could potentially get that done very easily, or very like it shouldn't be too bad. And I can still, if I have at least 6 Pokemon, I can still beat the game.
Yeah, and
if I have 1 Pokemon, I can beat the game.
That is very true. Yeah, like I mean, just my opinion. I think doing like a gold silver randomizer would actually be pretty cool. Because it gives you a higher or a larger pool for Pokemon for like to work up to.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at, is like somewhere in the nature of 500, 600, 700 Pokemon, something like that.
Oh, so you're looking to the later generations.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I was thinking
between like 400 and 700 Pokemon, somewhere in that area, because this way, like, it's still within similar numbers to Mario Odyssey, where that was 999, and it's still like it still would be a bit of a challenge, like to get them all. Like, can you guys? The challenge is, can you guys have me get all the Pokemon?
So I wonder, like, somebody that like knows how to set all this stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I am curious. Like, I've never actually tried like an emulator for like the DS era, which is where you'd be looking to do that many Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like it would definitely be like Diamond and Pearl, probably.
Yeah, I don't remember I don't remember what games we were talking about, but like
Black
we
and White,
were
Diamond and Pearl would be that 400 to 500 number.
yeah, we were thinking like I think at one point we might have even been talking like Black and White or pre-Black and White. What was before Black and White?
Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, so we might have been talking Diamond and Pearl. We might have been talking Black and White, not Black and White. Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, so it was Blue, Red, Gold, Silver, Ruby, Sapphire, Diamond, Pearl, Black and White, X and Y, Sun and Moon, and then the Switch games.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Black and White would probably be that would be the game that would have the number you're looking for. I think maybe Diamond and Pearl. Like, it would be close. Like when you unlock the national decks, probably around 400. I only recommended Gold and Silver because so that would be 250 Pokemon. But depending on how you did the randomizer, you also have like do you have to beat the Elite Four? Do you have to beat Red? Like stuff like that.
Well, the idea would be just playing through and you guys telling me how many Pokemon to catch and stuff like that. So like, if I only get 6 people joining in on the event or 6 subs or whatever, I only get 6 Pokemon. Whatever the first 6 Pokemon I encounter, that's it. I can't evolve. Or if it's a bunch of Pokemon, you know what? I'm going to save this spot for evolution and stuff like that. And like, I have to catch every uncaught Pokemon that I encounter, stuff like that. So like, there will be rules to it.
Okay.
So even if it's like a Pokemon that I can evolve to getting, but if I have not caught it, I have to catch it.
Yeah,
if
I know
I don't
there's
have the Pokedex entry, I'll have to catch it and things like that.
Okay. Because I know that I've seen some of the randomizers from like GDQs and stuff like that, and you can really do some cool stuff with them. Like as far as like what stuff gets randomized, what sort of like item tracking things you can do, like depending on like how random you make things.
Yeah.
And I think like it'll even randomize like your starter Pokemon.
Yeah, we're gonna set that up, and the only rule that we have to go into it with is because he's setting up the emulator and whatnot, he gets to pick my starter, and so he's gonna set. And I told him, I was like, well, whatever game we play has to have Absol in it because it's my favorite Pokemon. I've never gotten to use it. And he's like, all right, well, that's not too bad, but now you know that I'm gonna set up the 2 other starters to be Absol so that your what's it called? Your rival gets Absol. And I'm like,
that's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, you would do that. He's like, you shouldn't have told me. I'm like, you're a dick.
Meanwhile, you're gonna get Jigglypuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something dumb. I don't know but he's picking my starter. So yeah, he's gonna set the randomizer to have the starters being whatever one he wants me to get or something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I think that one should be
it,
actually kind of cool, and just like the Mario one, like you don't have to do it all in one go, depending on like how much you get.
It'll be just like Mario, where like the first weekend, I'll play it throughout the weekend, and then after that, I'll play it like once a week. And whenever I play it, if the event's as long as the event is ongoing, any donations, subs, and whatnot can continue to add to it until I get to the point where I've caught every Pokemon that you guys needed me to catch, or have reached the Pokedex entries that you guys have wanted me to catch. It's trying to still fill in that goal of like last year of like how far into the game can I get and how much can you guys make me do, while also like making it fun for everyone to like come and watch. And like an Elden Ring boss rush would be interesting, but it would just be so hard at times and so frustrating and not fun to watch at times. Whereas this might actually, even though it's like, it'll be frustrating sometimes where it's like, oh, I haven't seen a single uncaught Pokemon because of this randomizer in so long. There's still a way to set it up with the randomizer and potentially adjust it as time goes on to where it's like, I think like the idea is like the randomizer, wherever a Pokemon shows up, it will always show up in that region. But like, there's a way to where it's like maybe randomize like X number of Pokemon in each region or something like that as well. I don't know. He knows how to set it all up. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, like just from having like seen these, like there are all sorts of like cool things you can do with the randomizer, and there are like certain things you can seed to happen. Like it's random, but you can like specify like certain things to trigger at certain times to like make things possible.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure I think I vaguely remember watching one, and I think it was something like they made sure that like the final rival fight like was like set up a certain way or something like that. Like like all sorts of stuff you can set. And I don't know if you remember when there was that Twitch Plays Pokemon like forever ago. When they did Gold and Silver, they actually took the team from the Red and Blue Twitch Plays Pokemon and made that Red's team at the end of Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
Instead of like the normal team he has.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, cool stuff you can do.
Yeah, and I'm gonna set it up to where like donation thresholds will allow you to choose my team for different gym leaders or different like key story beats and stuff like that, or like the Elite Four, whatever you want my team to be like. You like once we reach that point, that person whoever donated, I'll DM and be like, hey, we're getting to this point. Here's the Pokemon I have. Pick my team. Not necessarily pick my team out of all available Pokemon in the game, but pick my team out of what I have because it's a randomizer. I don't want to be stuck searching for that one Pokemon that the person wants me to get and maybe not be able to get that one Pokemon because I don't have enough donations to be able to get that Pokemon either and stuff like that.
Sorry, I have to sneeze again.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out, but it's still a couple months away.
Yeah, well, like a month and a half. Like we're creeping towards the middle of April. And don't you normally do this like early June, right?
Yeah, it's like June. I think my anniversary day is like June 9th or something like that.
Oh, so actually exactly two months from today. For some reason, I thought it was earlier.
Something like that, yeah. I don't know exactly. It might actually be earlier. I don't know exactly. The way I tell, and I need to actually just like find the actual date. But the way I tell what my anniversary date is I go all the way to the bottom of my YouTube videos. And at the beginning of when I started streaming full time, I was uploading all of my VODs. And so I check a few of the oldest VODs and find whichever date. And I think it's like the 9th, but I'm not entirely too sure on that.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, it's let's see. I have August 2016. This is me playing No Man's Sky. And then I have a Fall Guys stream from June 21st, 21, June 20th. I think 6/9, but there might be one even earlier than that. Here we go. Horizons. Oh no, that's 6/2/18. No, that wouldn't be there. So that would be 6/2/21 probably. 6/8/21 City Skylines. 6/6/21 City Skylines. 6/1 No Man's Sky. So it's early June. I usually do the first weekend of June. So it would be like I would probably do it the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay, nice. Well, yeah. With that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you.
Bye.